Welcome to The Dentist Show. Let's jump right in.
All right. Well, welcome to The Dentist Show.
The Dentist Show.
My back is sweaty, my crack is wet, and we are in the heat of Arizona in June of 2025.
Yeah, actually, it's funny that you said that because I have a team member that's from Alaska and she's been living here for the last year, and she keeps talking about how, it's warm and all these things. And I'm like, and then she was just asking me about, she's like, you lived in Arizona, right? And I was like, yeah. She's like, well, we're going down there next week.
Why?
And she's like, we're going to Scottsdale. Is there anything you'd recommend doing?
Not going.
And I'm like, well, it's going to be freaking hot. I can tell you that.
It's going to be like 110, 115.
I told her about Fuego de Chao. I mean, that's a classic for Scottsdale area. Good food. At least it was when I was in school. So, yeah.
Fogo de Chao?
Fogo, that's what it was. See, I can't even say it
Fogo.
right. I forgot.
You're like half Spanish there, not Brazilian.
Yeah, Fogo de Chao.
Fogo, or I don't know how they actually say it, but yeah. Fogo de Chao.
Yeah, well, thanks for
That's
judging.
that's in Seattle.
Yeah, but we don't, she's not in Seattle. She's,
No. Scottsdale has a lot of food, a lot of good food. Actually, Gilbert, we went out with a few friends last couple months we have, and Gilbert actually is stepping up their game. We have some good restaurants here now, so a lot of people from Scottsdale come out to Gilbert to eat. So
really?
Yeah.
Is the whole downtown Gilbert area getting more restaurants too, or are they in other areas?
Sort of, but it's just other areas. There's like more of those opening up everywhere, like planned areas.
Okay.
So it's pretty neat seeing.
Yeah, we have no good food. Well, that's not no good food. We are not known for our food in Spokane, Liberty Lake
You got the
area.
Outback.
Yeah, we got the Outback. I've done team outings there a few times because it's pretty great.
I mean, Outback's great.
Actually,
Love that
Outback is
steakhouse.
great. We do have the best restaurant in the area, in my opinion, is attached to a gas station.
Yeah.
It's like literally a strip mall attached to a gas station. You walk in, it's like fine dining inside. Chase me from there.
Yeah, it's not like super nice,
No,
but it's good food.
but it's good food. Yeah.
Like it's nice. It's just not like a.
I think what
Scottsdale
makes it feel nicer is that it's attached to a gas station, and when you walk inside, you're like, "Oh, this isn't a gas station."
Yeah, the
That's
expectation
all about
walking
the
in.
level of expectation. But yeah, 100%. It is not like for Gilbert expectations or Scottsdale expectations.
Yeah.
It's not a high end restaurant. It's a restaurant. So
That's what I've noticed. A lot of restaurants lately has been spending a lot of money on their decor. Like, I don't know. It's always like very unique and
like
stand out a lot.
tchotchkes,
Like the place we guys
30 keys of the flare.
we went with Dr. Heaton on Mother's Day weekend to a place called Origin.
Okay.
And it was like all their wood was with like, it was kind of funny because their wood is burnt wood.
Okay.
And they actually were closed for 3 months because they had a fire in their kitchen. But all their decor is like burnt wood stuff. It's kind of funny.
That is funny.
So
The burnt wood was before the fire,
It was
right?
before the fire.
Yeah.
Well, Ryan, we were just talking about how amazing your day was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I actually, I had one of those days that I think anyone who's been practicing for a long time has had, where it's
Maybe.
maybe it's just me. Maybe I highly question why I'm a dentist, and I hated every minute of today.
Well, let's put those that do sedation.
Yeah.
Will probably understand where you're coming from. The doctors that only do fillings and crowns, like the you might have a frustrating day, and it gets like it's a whole different level sometimes when you're doing sedations.
Yeah. So I had an upper all on X patient that I was doing sedation on, a relatively healthy patient, doing really well through, the first hour and a half of the procedure. And then all of a sudden, and I'm doing sedation for, I think I said that already. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's like she's having like a dream or a night terror or something's going on. And she just starts like wanting to fight and like throwing her arms up. And I have like the smallest assistant across the way from me, and she's trying to grab her arms, and we have all the implants in, but we don't have any MUAs. I haven't sutured anything shut, and we're so close to the end. And it took us we're probably, though, I tried to sedate her through it. So actually give her more midazolam to bring her down, and it got worse. And then of course I gave her more midazolam. So now I can't reason with this lady at all. I'm trying to talk her through it and try to relax her, and she's getting a little even more combative. So ultimately, after trying to wrestle her a little bit to calm down, I gave her some reversal meds and got her to a point where she's still semi-sedated but able to communicate with me and not combative, and let her know, like, hey, this is where we're at. We either finish with you being more awake than either of us want you to be, or we wake you up and you go home with teeth, right? And so she opted, and we decided to work through it. And I'm giving you the Reader's Digest version. It sucked. It was like, I hated every minute of it. I was worried for the patient, worried for my staff, worried for myself. Nobody out there sue me, okay? Like,
what goes through your head? Like, what when things are going rough? Like, what do you think about?
well, there's a lot to think about. So there's like, safety of the patient is number one, right? Like, how can I keep this patient safe, and can we keep her safe to finish the procedure, right? And so that's what we're navigating, right? It's like, can I sedate her through this, get her either a little deeper to pass through it, or do I need to bring her out altogether? Like, those are things that are going through my head to keep her safe first. And a large part of me is like, well, I'd like to sedate her through this so that we can continue the case and finish it for her and get a good result. And then it's what's everyone else around me thinking right now, right? There's that. Because I had a new doc, a new grad shadowing me today. He's never been in a sedation case like that. And now I probably scared him from sedation forever.
Yeah.
And then I've got an assistant who's never assisted me on that large of a case. She helped me with a couple cases before, but this is her first all on X case like this, and her second sedation case ever.
Nice.
And so now I'm managing the team, like, hey, this is not normal and it's okay. Don't lose it. Keep helping us through it. Like, hold fast. And then I'm like, I'm going to get sued. This lady's going to die. And I'm going to be the problem. It's going to be my fault. And I'm going to have to live with that. And then there goes the livelihood of my family, my business. Like, all of it's going through my head at the same time. And then I'm like, you know what? At this point, we're not going to be able to finish the case with her sedated. Get out the flumazenil and bring her out. Like, keep everyone alive. That was number one today. And it just going through that thought process and having to do it in such a high rate of time, so fast, making the decision fast in front of people that you can't really ask or discuss what's going on in your head about it. And then knowing no matter what decision I make, it's ultimately my decision to make. So,
yeah, you're on an island.
Yeah.
So how did they? Because I'm not a bad doctor, so I never had to use flumazenil. Just kidding. Was it pretty? Just kidding.
Well, here we are. Friends be friends. I had learned how to use flumazenil, but I have never used it up until this point. Did I Google? Heck yes, I did.
You're not supposed to say that on the podcast.
Yeah, well, I did. It was either read the little tiny label or Google it real quick.
ChatGPT. Hey Siri.
Chat. See what this page is doing? Now I don't know. I didn't chat GPT it. I just Googled dosage of flumazenil, and it recommended 0.2 milligrams per 15 seconds until desired result. Okay.
How fast did it come?
I gave her, just because I didn't want to jump her out of it, I gave her 0.1. 10 seconds later, gave her 0.2, one more. So 0.2 over the course of 20, 30 seconds. And right then her eyes started to open up, but she was still pretty sedated. But we got to a point where we could now communicate in a reasonable fashion, and then was able to talk with her, make a plan. And she's not going to remember any of this, but she was awake enough that we were able to continue with the process, finish getting all the multi-unit abutments on, and she was stable and steady and doing well. And then towards the end of the procedure, she was fully awake by the end, but we got through the bulk of it with her still relatively comfortable and sedated.
So did you just drop a half or a 0.5 cc of flumazenil and just gave her?
So the way the flumazenil comes in our emergency kit is it's 0.1 milligram per milliliter. So I just drew up 5, thinking
Yeah.
I have 0.5 right there.
Mm-hmm. And these get
And I just went 1 and then 1.
cc. Yeah.
Yeah, 1 cc.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Nice.
If you ever need it, it's actually super easy to use.
Did the other question was that came to mind that just left was, oh, do you think she was overly sedated, like too sedated? What was your frequency of midazolam?
Well, that's what I'm starting to think. I was thinking maybe it was for her, the effect was a little too strong where we entered into that like fight. I forget what they call it, but the stage of sedation where they're like fighting sedation.
Yeah, fight or flight.
Fight or flight zone, if you will, there. Like stage 3 or whatever sedation. And I think that might have been it. And so when I added more midazolam, instead of pushing her through it, it actually pushed her more into that fight response. But she was doing really well up until she wasn't. And that was the thing. I didn't add sedation meds right before it happened. I didn't add midazolam right before it happened. It was just we were doing good. We were coasting. Maybe 15 minutes before that, I had added midazolam, and then it was over.
So that happened to me, and we watch them. We started watching like 8 to 10 minutes. So my assistant that's doing the sedation notes, she'll set a timer on her watch like 8 to 10 minutes. And it's actually pretty rare that we let it go past 12 minutes anymore, for what it's worth. And then we can keep them relatively. The blood ox is good, everything's good. We try to give them at like 10 to 12 minutes, just a 1 milligram dose.
Okay.
But it was interesting.
So you're giving a milligram every 12 minutes is what you're saying?
8 to 12, yeah.
8 to 12, okay.
Yeah, we used to do 15, and then we've had a couple of sedations kind of went like that, where it was kind of combative and we couldn't really do anything. So it was just like, sorry, you woke up in the middle of this and I can't get you comfortable anymore.
Well, and I've had patients actually wake up, right, during sedation and eyes open and stuff. And we had a patient you and I were working with together that we ultimately decided to stop sedation and did GA at a later date. Yeah. But this was different. It was, she 100% was not, like she was using words and talking, but her eyes were closed. She wasn't like coherent.
Yeah, I've had that. I actually have had that before.
Yeah.
So I wonder if it was like her coming out of the sedation or going too deep. Because it'd be weird that she went too deep if you didn't just push meds.
Well, and that's what my thought was too. That's why I pushed meds to try to get her a little deeper, because I thought she was coming out and came out just enough to where she was, I don't like this, right?
Yeah. It's so interesting. Yeah. Dude, said that, I was telling Ryan earlier when he called me about the case, I was like, dude, those are the days that nobody knows. Like, you're just on this island and like everything in your mind's negative. Like, just like,
oh yeah, I was like, I hate what I'm doing right now.
I'm gonna kill this person and then I'm gonna go like jail. Just like the worst case scenarios go through your head, and all because I'm trying to help this patient not remember a procedure that I didn't cause the problem.
The funny part is I had a couple patients come in, and I told you this like right after the case was kind of settled down, that were like Dr. Bushman only patients. They were there on the day I was there so that they could only see me and this and that. And Lexi comes out to me and I'm like, not today. I don't care who sees them. It ain't gonna be me.
Get him out of my face.
Yeah. And then after like an hour goes by, I'm calmed down enough. I went and saw our hygienist's husband because he likes to see me too. But before that, I was like, I might punch a patient in the face if they come to me.
The worst days, man. That's when you're like, why do I even do sedations? Why don't we just GA everybody? Just have anesthesia come in and do them all.
Yeah, you know what the funny part is right after that, I had 2 patients scheduled after. And because we were running so far behind, I actually didn't get to deliver her final until I was done with these 2 patients, which she was good and pretty relaxed up to that point. However, the patient that I saw, the hardest patient to get impressions on, I took 5 impressions on this patient. I don't think I've taken more than 1 or 2 on a patient in forever. And I was just like, not today, buddy. I'm going to lose it. Like,
you got it.
Yeah.
Did you use hydromorphone?
I did,
Yeah.
That
drug's
it's a longer
weird.
case.
Yeah. That's why I usually for my 2-hour cases, and it seems like it's hit and miss. But or fentanyl, I know I got them for like 30 minutes to 60 minutes. Yeah,
I think you're right. Fentanyl hits harder.
Yeah, they stay down.
Yeah.
But you only have like 30, maybe 50 minutes and it's done. But
Yeah.
then you keep them more comfortable with the bedazzler. Interesting. Yeah, the industry can be so. I'm sure other occupations have the same stresses, but I feel like not many occupations or even physicians like you would even know like that feeling where it's just light sedation, IV sedation. They're conscious and they're just combative as you try to work in this small little dark hole, and like especially with implants, you're trying to get the angles right, you're trying to get the path right, and this lady's like moving around, you're holding him with your elbows, trying to keep him like,
Dude, literally,
from moving.
Like my assistant was like both arms on top of her. The dentist that was shadowing me, like I said, he just graduated, like doesn't even have his license yet. He's literally holding legs down, and I'm like, it's normally not like this.
Yeah, it's usually smooth sailing.
I'm like trying to keep my cool, and I'm like, I kind of have an idea of what's going on. I'm kind of don't. I'm trying to figure it out in my head as we go. Like ultimately, the decisions that I made were the right decisions. It just it's tough when you're
in the moment. It's tough to make the call because everybody wants to finish the case and keep her safe. What do you ever say anything to yourself on the case? Like even not even today, but other days. Sometimes you're struggling on like an extraction or whatever. You can't find a end of the decay or whatever the patient's.
It's never happened to me. This is the first time.
What do you ever say anything to yourself to like just like get through it? Like anything positive, like affirmations or anything?
I don't know if affirmations. Maybe like at 3:00 I'm done today, no matter what happens.
Yes, I do the same thing. Sometimes I honestly say, I'm like, well, the good news is I'm done after this, and this patient's going to feel this for like 4 days. It's so evil. It's so evil, but it's like, man, or I'm like, dude, like worst case scenario, I'm here another hour and I get to go home.
Yeah.
Or, like the light's at the end of the tunnel here.
That is 100% my go-to when I'm having a day. It's like, no matter what, at the end of this, I'm done with this, and I will go home.
Yeah, and you hope you have support at home because it's sometimes a rough day.
Yeah, today was, usually I get home, and I'm pretty like, I get home, there's 10 kids in my house, there's 3 down at the lake almost drowning, 2 are driving jet skis, and now, they're as soon as I get in, they're like, Dad, can we go get some gas? And they like want my credit card, right?
Yeah.
And usually I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm here to party. Like, I got you.
Yeah.
Today, I literally walked right past my whole family, went into my bedroom, like sat on the side of my bed for a few minutes, and Cassie comes in and wants to talk to me. I'm like, honey, give me a minute. I need a minute.
I'm not Ryan right now.
Yeah.
Give me a minute.
Give me a minute, and I'll be right back out. So
it's funny because I had cases like that, similar, and it's just like, nobody knows. Yeah. Nobody knows this.
You had a rough case last weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, it was like I don't do well. I had 2 actually. One patient we did a lower reconstruction, and she was on Halcyon, which I actually don't do because my Halcyon patients are so hit and miss.
Yeah,
and this was a miss, so it didn't really work for her. She's a pain in the butt, and it's just those nightmare like she keeps moving. And you're like pinning her down and trying to like finish this prep, and you're like, man, this case does not look like my cases to turn out, but like whatever, we survived. It just took longer. And then the other case we were doing, I was doing IV sedation. It was some thirds. It was third. This is the other thing. We talked a little bit about sedation on this podcast, but the guys that or gals that smoke weed, that do marijuana, they are like the absolute worst patients to do IV conscious sedation on. Like the worst. And this guy did weed, and so it was like we had like 5 minutes apiece, and then it was just a fight, and it was third. So I had to bring my more experienced assistants in sometimes because sometimes it gets me like, I'm a bigger guy, stronger, bigger forearms. I can kind of hold them into place, but it looks a little violent because I'm just getting the teeth out. The patient's not going to remember, and I'm still gentle. It just doesn't look gentle. So
you put your knee on their chest, don't you?
I'm
like
the
every
knee guy.
Patient says.
I'm the knee guy, even though that's like physically impossible.
So ergonomically not possible.
No, the lever's all wrong. But that's me. But it holds them down.
Yeah,
just kidding.
That's right. It's to hold them down.
But it was the whole like patients in the headlock.
Yeah,
she's doing this thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's how it's going down. And so a newbie assistant might be going taking photos and putting me on Instagram or
Yeah.
something. Like, look at
Well,
this hack.
that was part of it. Like I was talking like our assistant through it today because it was like her first time with anything this big plus sedation. And I was just like, hey, this is like not too abnormal. Like this is just the rodeo of sedation. Like we're fine, patient's safe. I appreciate you. And she was totally cool with it. But yeah, you wonder sometimes because you got to talk these assistants through it. And especially if you're doing a case that is a little more difficult that your trained assistants can help you be quicker and more efficient at.
Right. Yeah. They can
That's
be ready
so
for
key.
it.
Yeah. And you want to train people, but sometimes it's like, hey, this
Sorry.
patient is not the patient you train on today.
this is the black belt
Hey,
assistant.
give me so-and-so. Let's go.
Yeah. Let's get this over with.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, if you guys are out there and you have those days like we all do, just remember you survived 100% your worst days.
Yeah.
And you can go home at 3.
The sun will come up tomorrow.
You get to go home at 3 p.m.
Yeah. Whenever your work day's over, you still get to go home. And I've never said it like Chase. I'm not a sadist here. I'm not like, yeah, at least for 4 days.
I just kind of like, well, at least I'm done, and he's not going to be. You know, he's hurting my back for the rest of the night.
Last little jab with your elevator, like
no, I'm like, he hurt my back for the rest of the night. I'm going to hurt his mouth for 4 days. It's a trade-off, you know.
Only guys, right? You're always nice ladies,
yeah,
right?
Oh yeah. I don't hurt the just the guys that smoke weed. I try to hurt more. That's a good. I think that's a good moment because I think we all have moments like that and different degrees. Like when a root canal's going bad or a crown prep's going bad or extracts, like it doesn't really stress me out at all because my stress point is now when the sedation's
Your worst day is when
bad.
you're worried if you're killing your patient in sedation.
Yeah, and so when the root canal goes bad, I know the worst case scenario is I guess worst case scenario I'm taking the tooth out.
Yeah.
But usually worst case scenario, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, you're a difficult patient. You gotta go to the endodontist. And that's like the worst count. And they're like, why can't you finish it? I'm like, because I'm a hack. You gotta go see an endodontist. That's like the worst case, you know?
But I'm bad at what I do. I do gotta send some.
Sorry. I failed you. Yeah. But worst case scenario and sedation is the patient's dead.
Yeah. You know what the funny part is? I make this joke every now and again, and to her husband, who actually a really nice guy as well. He's in there when I'm starting the RD, but I make the joke of, well, luckily for you guys, I'm 100% success so far for sedation. That's like everyone's lived so far.
So far.
Yeah. And,
that's so true. Wait. You know when that pulse ox goes down to like 90, do you get a little stress? I get stressed at 90.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Pucker up hard.
Yeah. Actually, so when the anesthesiologist let it go down to like 86, I'm like, you want to do something about that? You know, like, hey.
Yeah, like I've seen worse.
Yeah, they're like, nah, it's fine. I'm like, huh? All right.
Well. I like to ride the wave. When it goes to 90, I want to see how low it goes before I can get it back up.
Oh, geez.
Just for that's where my real adrenaline comes from in my life.
Pulse ox in 90 is when I start hurting the patient. Like, wake up.
Yeah. Like, wake up.
Does jaw thrust or
slapping patients or something like that. You've been known to slap patients before.
I wonder what her pulse ox was when she passed out or when she fell asleep. I bet it was like 60.
You know what? One thing we've had a little, I've been noticing sometimes is when the pulse ox is dropping and then it like stays, but we can't get it to come up even with adding oxygen, even with like doing chin thrusts, things like that. Sometimes you just move the pulse ox to a different finger and all of a sudden it's 99.
Well, if they have fingernail polish on.
Right. But what I mean, you know what I mean? That's like, I found like sometimes I'm like freaking out, struggling to get something going. I'm like, hey, let's just try a different finger.
Yeah,
and
it works
boom,
fine.
99%. And I'm like,
that's a good point. And sometimes the patient, because the patient's fine, they're breathing.
Yeah.
You can tell them open their mouth. Like, why does your pulse suck? Your oxygen levels suck.
Yeah. So I've started to make that part of my systems to check why their pulse ox is so low. Okay, oxygen, like make sure they're breathing, make sure that all this is going on, and let's switch pulse ox to a different finger, just for fun, just to see.
Yeah.
What I'd say, Chase, is kind of jumping off what you were saying with root canals, things like that. Is like, yeah, my big stress right now is sedation, and the days sometimes when we're doing these multiple implant cases and things like that, and that doesn't diminish your stress, right? You'll grow into your new stress as you do more and get more competent and confident. And don't let stress keep you from growing, and be responsible with your limits. Make sure we can keep our patients safe and alive and do good dentistry.
Yeah, I think you can't grow unless you're frustrated,
Yeah.
So it's not bad. People look at it as a bad thing, and it can be a really good thing to being frustrated. As long as you don't keep doing the same thing that causes you to be frustrated.
Learn from it.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes sedations that you did nothing wrong, and you can revisit it and see, like, pick things apart, and just to learn, not to prove that you're wrong or something. And sometimes it's like, it's just the patient's a redhead, or patient smokes marijuana, or patient's obese, or whatever the case is. But
well,
good day.
Okay, well, thanks for letting me vent publicly.
Yeah,
There
was no take-home message, and I don't know how they were going to come up with a title for this one.
Don't do what Dr. Bushman does. ...
Yeah, that should be on every podcast as a disclaimer. Do not do what Ryan does.
Actually, maybe we can we get a disclaimer for this?
Do not sedate patients. Don't take them deeper or bring them out. What the board would find a problem with. Well, that's good. I think that helps because we all go through difficult issues. So there is a light. You get to go home at 3. Whatever you got to tell yourself, I think it really makes me breathe better when I say stuff like that. Like, all right, 10 more minutes, I'll be done. And then
keep calm and swim on, or whatever.
Yeah. And then learn from your frustrations, and then try not to find a substance to drown out the frustrations. Just move on from them, grow from them, change something, and then, get through that season. Anyways, good stuff, Ryan, like always.
Yeah.
That's why we have you here.
Well, thanks everybody for listening in. Tell your friends. We appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to The Dentist Show. We hope that this episode helped you make smiles about more than teeth. To get more resources to grow as a dentist and to learn more about Chase and Ryan, go to thedentistshow.com or just follow the link in the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, share with another dentist in your life and help us grow the movement. And be sure to rate and review wherever you're listening.